everybody, thanks a lot for joining me today. We're gonna have a little kind of blast from the past in this video. I feel like a lot of things, maybe 90s-ish, early 2000s-ish, are gonna be coming into the conversation. I just got to thinking the other day, there are some things that I feel like are really making a comeback. Maybe it's an actual trend, or maybe it's just some random stuff that I've decided to start using again, or methods I'm starting to use again, that were more reminiscent of the times when I started my channel, or even well before that. So some of this might be a little random. Some of this I think is really factually is a trend that's coming back, and I think more brands are selling some of these different kinds of items, and it's just making it more prevalent in our beauty landscape, let's say. But I've got a few of these things that aren't necessarily makeup, and that's where I'm gonna start. And I would love to hear in the comments section, do any of these hold true for you, or what things are kind of giving you that what's old is new again feel in our lives these days. But y'all, here's one. The mini backpack. I'm thinking back to probably when I was in junior high, early high school years. I was probably rocking a mini backpack at times, but now I am functionally using a mini backpack most days. I have a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and I love that thing. I've had it for quite a while. It still looks brand new. I enjoy that when I need a tote bag, and I'm not a big bag person. That's part of why I have a few nice bags from that line. It's okay, I know these will look good. I don't really care to repurchase and do lots of different bags, so let's just have a few that are really good quality. But in the midst of that, I came up with this little gem. I believe this was from TJ Maxx, and this is my mini backpack, and this is probably what I use the most when I'm on any sort of kid duty. Because with a backpack, you get to be hands-free, right? And so I just thought this was cute. I didn't want anything super loud. It's a great size. You can take a few diapers, some wipes, your wallet, your phone. It's great to take to sporting events as well. I mean, I've loved this so much. I'm not even sure what the brand is. Like I said, I found it at TJ Maxx. I probably spent less than $20 on it, but it has not shown any signs of wear whatsoever. I think that's amazing. But actually what probably catapulted me into this whole mindset was when I was at Ross recently, and I noticed in the bags there were so many mini backpacks, and at Walmart too, just tons of little backpacks. So that has definitely made a comeback in my life for sure. Here's another biggie for me, the press-on nails. Look at them, y'all. Impress press-on manicures from Kiss. I love these because there's no glue needed. There's a little tab that you pull off. I like to set them all out for which finger it's gonna go on. You kind of fit them to your finger first, and then you just peel them on, you press them down, you give yourself a lot of pressure because that's gonna help it last longer on your nail, but they're just so incredibly easy. So this was the style I had on a couple videos ago, this kind of rosy shade, and they do give you some accent nails in these. I haven't really used those, but now I'm wearing this lilac shade. I think it's really pretty, and it's just, I don't know, they look perfect and they last really well too. They'll get you through a week. I'm not really sure if those things are making a comeback for everyone everywhere, but they are kind of coming back into my world. Also, let's talk about the scrunchie. I feel like scrunchies have been weaseling their way back into the fashion world over quite a big span of time here lately, but I've been embracing it. I will wear a scrunchie quite a bit around the house or to sleep in. You sleep in a high ponytail, you put it in a scrunchie so it doesn't really leave a big dent. I've been doing that for years. But then I've gotten some cute scrunchies. Look at this velvet one with the little bunny ears on it. It's cute. So I want to know, are you wearing scrunchies too? Are you actually wearing them out in public in a stylish way? Because that's kind of where I'm teetering a little bit. I'm not sure how to make it look really cute. I've seen some people do the most adorable, half up, half down hairdos, and their hair's all really big and voluminous and curled, and they've got part of it up in a scrunchie, and it actually looks really cute. I haven't really gone there with it, but I have been using scrunchies quite a bit. Here's a big one that probably just falls under the heading of me personally. I haven't noticed this to be a huge comeback trend in makeup, but mineral makeup. I used to use mineral makeup so much, I'm thinking back to the start of my channel, and Bare Minerals and Everyday Minerals, and Maybelline had mineral makeup, and it was a really hot thing. And now it's the strong survives. Bare Minerals is still around, and I will use this quite a bit. Sometimes I'll just want to use the foundation for my look, or pull out different aspects. Today I'm wearing the Hint blush, which I think is gorgeous, and I've got it pretty prominently stored right here on my tabletop, so I do see it, I'll use it, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I think Bare Minerals has brought a lot of interesting periphery products to their line too, really good concealers and tinted moisturizers. There's so many different avenues to maybe layer up your look and kind of use their mineral makeup a little bit differently. And I know this got talked about in my Emily Awards and stuff, but I may not discuss it on a continual basis, but I really do like my mineral makeup. Bare Minerals, you're doing good. How about bronzers? Just bronzing in general. I feel like that has has really taken a hold on me lately. I've taken a big interest in what bronzers I like, what bronzers I don't like, seeking out that bronzy look from different palettes. I'm thinking about like this butter bronzer in the Sculpting bronzer shade that I think is absolutely wonderful. See, I'm wearing that today. That looks dark as can be in there, but I'm wearing that in the hollows of my cheeks and around the perimeter of my face, and it's a perfect tone. My Sigma Sculpt palette, as I talked about in that Sigma video, so many great tones and shades and purposes in there. There's that amazing bronzer from Doll 10 that I've talked about, and I feel like I've just really gotten into bronzer again. I'm utilizing it so much more and so much more prominently just in my everyday makeup routine, and that was something more toward the start of my channel, and especially in the news days. With the way the lights were in that studio, you just had to use a lot of bronzer, and you would look probably a lot more bronzed than you needed to be in real life, but it made sense on camera, and I feel like that's something in my life that's coming back. Not to a crazy extent, but I'm just taking a big interest in it. Here's something that I think may be drifting out into the makeup marketplace a little bit more, and I am kind of taking part. It's the Squeezy Tube lip glosses, and I was really discussing these Revlon ones in the dupe video, the Revlon Kiss Plumping Lip Creams. I don't love this format so much, like squeezing it out of a hard little tube and having to mush it around on your lips. Like, yes, I can do it, but do I really want to do it? But back in the day, there were so many glosses packaged this way, and now I feel like a few are trickling out. Now ColourPop has some. They're called So Juicy Plumping Gloss. As soon as I saw these were squeezy tubes, I'm like, oh no, another squeezy tube. But yet, I love the formula. It's the same with this Revlon. I love the formula, so therefore I will power through and I will say, I don't care if you're a squeezy tube, I'm using you anyway. And this ColourPop is so cooling. Like, I've got this one called Beachwood on top of a lip liner, which I'll explain in a minute, but it's really shiny, but very, very cooling. And that cooling hangs around a long time and it feels so nice on my lips. So it's like, yeah, I am gonna use that. But do you remember like Lancome Juicy Tubes, and L'Oreal had kind of a Juicy Tube type spin-off for a while, and I would use all that stuff. Even though I didn't absolutely love the format for whatever reason, back in the day, I felt compelled to use all that. And now I am really here for the formula. Like this Revlon and the Almond Suede, like that's gorgeous. You saw some of those colors in my dupes video. I mean, they're great, and the formula feels so good. And same deal here with the ColourPop. They have more of like a, I don't know, it feels like almost a silicone material on the little slant tip there. Sometimes I will just squeeze a little out, maybe start to get it smoothed out on my lips and then finish it with my finger. But these ColourPop ones are pretty sheer. I like Beachwood. I really like the one called Type of Way, which is like a soft kind of dusty pink, and then Dress Code is a little bit more of a berry, but I'm still kind of diving into all the options there. Those just came to me in a PR package very recently, and I think the formula is so nice. So I predict we're gonna probably start seeing even more squeezy tubes, and I think, you know, if it's a good formula, I will go ahead and use it. But I'm still kind of critical of them. Next thing I put down on my list here is actual hair brows. Like if you get a good up close look at my brows, I'm really trying to kind of accentuate what I've got going on here hair-wise. And I talked about this a little bit in the Sigma video, this Tint and Tame brow gel. I love that. It holds really well. It's the dark shade, and you can use it to kind of like spike up your brows a little bit. I first do a really fine pencil to, you know, kind of fill in, but I feel like my end game with the brows is a little different than it used to be. I don't really care so much about making them look so perfect, but I want them to look more like, you know, embracing the fact that I do have hair there, you know? And back a long, long time ago, I did. Like pre-makeup, I had the furriest brows plus a unibrow. My brow hair really does want to grow from here to about here. There's a lot going on, and then once makeup kind of started in my life, I fought it hard and I tweezed them big time, and thankfully they did come back after a few rough years at college there. Now I'm like really appreciating what I have, and I'm almost going back to the time like pre-makeup when I really had a bushy brow going on, and I'm like, yeah, I like that again. Here's another thing that's making a comeback. You know I love my big palettes. I love a palette, but I feel like I'm using a few more quads these days. Like, I mean, the ones I've talked about from Physicians Formula, my classic nude. This is really nice for a quick, easy, low-fuss look like I've got going on today. I mean, you wanna know what I used? I used Walking on Eggshells from Wet n Wild. It's, yes, newly repackaged, but do we remember this from back in the day? Like, I'm kind of drawn to just some of these simple looks because I feel like I'm going with a very low fuss, just mascara look some days, and this just suits it really well. I've also got my Sweetest Candy one here. There's some great quads from L'Oreal, the color Riche line. I'm just kind of taking a renewed interest in that. I think some of this might come from the fact that I've decluttered my stash and I've kind of been like, oh yeah, I have those, I should be using those more. I'm feeling drawn to quads again. And another thing eyeshadow wise that I feel like I'm being drawn to more now is making my singles more accessible / using a Z palette that has some hand-picked things in there. I got this really beautiful thing. This came to me from a friend of Lisa J's, if you're familiar with Lisa J's channel. I don't think this came with the glitter on there. I think that was something I did. I'm not sure when or how, but the brand is Salt New York, and I don't think you'll find a prettier Z palette than this. And it zips around, it has a mirror, and then everything's magnetized in there. So I've got a few MAC blushes, some eyeshadows from MAC and Makeup Geek, and maybe a couple from Coastal Scents in there too. And I think I may rework this further, or kind of like, I don't know. I've got some different plans for some things I think I want to put in there, but I feel like I used to work out of a Z palette a lot more quite a while ago. Back in the day, I feel like single shadows were more of like stars of the makeup world than they are now. You know, like having those certain singles from MAC or whatever brand, you really cared about having those. Now it's more palette focused, but I feel like the desire is back for me to use the singles, but I think it's about making it accessible and kind of making my own palette out of it that's gonna cause me to actually get back into it. So I've really got a renewed interest with this beautiful palette that I have here. And then my last thing here, have we had a full list of 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we've had 10, that's cool. Oh, and look at that beautiful sky. Like, this is why I sit here. Now I am reminded this is why I have this as my backdrop. Like, look at that freaking cotton candy goodness out there. Let me just readjust myself so you can enjoy that a little bit better. But the last thing is a brown toned lip product. I was all about the browns in high school. Like, give me a good, like, shimmery, brownish colored neutral lip, and I was all for it. And I think over time that kind of faded away, got more into berries, more into rich shades, or even nudes, but kind of skipping over the browns. And now I feel like browns are so back, and that tone of neutral is just a really big thing. So what I've got on right now, like I mentioned, it's the So Juicy Plumping Gloss in Beachwood, but that's very sheer. So I think what I'm going to be pairing a lot of times with those glosses is a lip liner, and I'm wearing this one called Conspiracy from Urban Decay. Great kind of brownish toned lip liner. Just as far as a freestanding lip color that is kind of in that tone, sort of brownish caramely Brazilian Nut from the Physicians Formula lipstick line. So beautiful, really nice and warm. Also this gloss I have here from Revlon, what is the shade here? Rosy Future. Like, classic example of the type of shade I would have gone for like in high school or college. Just this real dusty hint of brown, a little bit of shimmer. Oh yeah, I was all about it. And now it's kind of coming back. I was thinking at the end of my list I could have added in glosses. I feel like as a whole glosses are really like making a comeback for people, but for me it's really been that way for some time. I remember doing my lip gloss renaissance video, what was that, over a year ago maybe? But yeah, there's my 10 beauty trends that are making a comeback in my life. Some of them I think are big trends a lot of people are going for. Some of them are just certain things that I've kind of readopted into my makeup routine. I have the feeling the comments section for this video is gonna get good. I can't wait to hear what kinds of things, maybe 90s, early 2000s, what's coming back for you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.